I'm Adam Ranger. I'm 32 years old, Wyomingite. The mental health journey started a long time ago. It wasn't until I'd say I was about 30 that I got a pretty accurate diagnosis of dysthymia and PTSD and the whole slew of things. It was the first time I was actually looked at, had a bad rapport with counselors, bad experiences. So that wasn't necessarily my favorite thing. But I started taking it a little bit more seriously the older I got. Just like you would expect from today's medical industry, they will throw pills at you left and right. The thing, when I was a kid, it was anyone with rosy cheeks had rosacea. So, people jump on that bandwagon, and whether they're sad or depression, they'll just throw a pill at it without even questioning your diet or your other life changes or anything like that, which is absolutely baffling to me. As a matter of fact, I was told by a doctor once after a blood test that I was low on potassium, and he said, you can go to Walmart and get these capsules. They're, you can just buy them straight out. You don't need a prescription or anything. And I'm like, or I could incorporate bananas into my diet. So, I've always been trying to not go down the foggy hole of prescribed medications. For my depression and anxiety and PTSD, I was self-medicating. So for a while, I was very sure that I had an alcohol problem, among other things, anything to make you feel good, food or social media. So I got into recovery programs. And so I didn't, I was afraid of doing anything because I was convinced that I had this addictive personality, which I'm sure I do. But seeing, that ketamine is a very low risk for abuse, because I approached that lightly. And I think what really drew me to it was, aside from the testimonials, the science of just the neuroplasticity. I really have gotten into meditation. It's kind of cool to see how many other patients on the Joyous site often talk about Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations and stuff, because that's something that I had found in my readings. And I think it's kind of cool that the people who I think benefit a lot from this treatment, they understand how powerful the mind can be, because it's really held us down for a lot of our lives. And it's kind of empowering to be able to take that into our own hands and be able to do something with the way our mind works. So that's very cool, just to know the science behind the neuroplasticity of ketamine. That's very wonderful. And I'm really, like I said, people jump on prescription bandwagons, like the whole rosacea thing, or if a kid can't concentrate, it's not because they're a kid, they need Adderall, or, that they don't look at the root causes of things. So I definitely think that this works best in conjunction with, actually trying to improve your mental health. So, like I said, I've known that there's something wrong with my mental for a very long time. So I had tried support groups, definitely addiction groups, because they're there and they, promise a helpful way out. And I really got into some Buddhist type meditations, and I worked at a stupa in Colorado for a while. And like I said, I had tried a bunch of other things aside from, self-medicating. I tried the Red Road to Sobriety, all these different support groups, all these different kinds of therapies, anything that you could possibly imagine I had tried. And so meditation has been really with me for a while as one of my avenues toward better mental health. And when I saw that that was a kind of main point driven home with Joyous, was to take that time and to set that intention. And, that was one of the best parts of my day before treatment, was to enjoy my meditation, and it would clearly have an effect. And it was a good thing in my life. And I'm like, it only takes 15 minutes. Why would I not do this? And then that went on with the help of Joyous to my meditations. Now I do like almost an hour long meditation instead of 15 minutes. And it's very beneficial. And they always say that people can see progress in you before you see it in yourself. And my mother is just absolutely in awe. She says that I'm a completely different person. I've been trying this hard my whole life, so I don't see anything different. But when I do look at things like the fact that I am able to do a longer, more beneficial meditation, and I keep a journal, and it used to be, I'd miss a day, 4 days, 5 days a week, and I have longer, more inquisitive journal entries, a lot more insight, and I don't miss a day. And I look forward to my meditations every day. I just act in such a more mindful way, and that was just very shocking to me. I didn't expect for, especially with such low doses of the ketamine treatment, because I had been journaling and therapy and everything before, and I said, well, I guess if this small thing helps all these people that sound like they have a very similar story to mine, why not give it a chance? Because there are just some things that only people who have been in your shoes can understand, and the words that they use and how they're there, night and day. So it sounded like I was hearing my story, so I definitely had to jump on that bandwagon. But the neuroplasticity and being able to get on a new track and a new way of thinking is absolutely invaluable. So that is something that I almost have to, the good outweighs the bad, and I will definitely hold Joyous up for that, because if it could help just one person, because it was hopeless. And before I even received medication or anything like that, or even was able to log into a patient portal, I'd had my initial consultation, and just from reading the testimonials and thinking that like it really did help these people, I walked around on cloud nine for a good day, because I had hope that something might actually work. And I cannot say that for other things, especially when ketamine works rather quickly as far as the symptoms go, as far as treating symptoms. Ketamine will make you happy regardless. And then the long-term effects, you'll be seeing some real things, as opposed to if you're put on a new SSRI or some other kind of antidepressant, you're going to spend 3 months trying to see if it works, or building up to your proper dose and dealing with all those side effects, seeing if your eating habits change, your sleeping habits change, or any of the other terrible side effects that come with it. So it's really a nice way to see something and be able to hold on to that hope and work toward it and see results. Makes you want to keep doing the work and keep up with the intention setting and be more mindful of my own mental health. So it's been absolutely wonderful. I can't say enough good about it. Just not often that something comes across the interwebs that might be advertised for me, and I think, oh, I need a new stuffed animal. But I had done a little bit of research about ketamine therapy and what was approved and how. So I knew that the science was there, but apparently the science is there for other things that I have tried too, and they didn't work. So I wasn't hopeful. But yeah, hearing the way that people spoke about it was really nice, and I didn't think it was possible. I can go back in my journal now and see that I wrote, I can't believe that I'm happy. And it's not that I'm happy because of the medication or even the meditation or any of the other things I'm doing in my life. It's the fact that I'm not miserable, and that's enough to make me happy. It's the fact that I can go and grab a cup of coffee and just enjoy the cup of coffee without that fear of impending doom or all the other stuff. I don't have to be up top over the moon. Nothing's unicorn and rainbows, but I have almost a choice to be happy, and that just did not exist before Joyous. Definitely working with the providers helps so much. Very understanding and able to get the right dose for me, to change things around as needed, and made it very clear that when I did see improvements, that was just symptom alleviation. What I was really looking for was to rebuild that neural pathways from the neuroplasticity that the ketamine helps with, and that I'd see more, long-term effects in like 3 months. So I've taken that to heart, and I've tried to follow the program and just think, this is going to get better, and that there is a chance of not being, on medicine at all someday. So that could be very nice. I'd hate to throw it on the counter as the miracle cure here, but sometimes things are discovered by mistake. Even though this is prescribed currently as off-label, I think it was Velcro that was famously invented when people were trying to make tires. So sometimes, it's a blessing in disguise. So I'd really like to see where it goes, and I like to try to help out as much as I can to make sure it's done responsibly, and that the treatment remains around for people who do need it and who can truly benefit from it, because it is definitely life-changing. It was definitely one of those, and still is one of those too good to be true things. So it's a small team, and I know that, and communication was so difficult, and getting the daily check-ins scheduled was so difficult, and to get the, I don't know, jumping through all those little hoops there. And the first provider I saw, it was rescheduled a couple times. I'm now with Jenny Parker, and absolutely wonderful. She always answers my questions, very knowledgeable, and things really got smooth sailing. And I'm glad that I hung in there, because I can see that people they get really excited and passionate about it, and they think it's, too good to be true. But it's a new thing. It's small, and there's a lot of hoops to jump through. But I'm thankful that it has the ability, and it's that the ketamine therapy has the potential to be looked at a little bit more closely and kind of researched a little bit more closely, especially in real world environments, and to get real feedback from it. So yeah, the logistics, that'll definitely come with time. And I've definitely seen some amazing things. The fact that the Joyous patients can talk to each other about concerns. There's always, somebody's online, if it's not the care team, somebody will listen to you. And, I've seen posts that say my provider is against this person's psychologist's recommendation. Their provider's like taking him off of the therapy, or weaning, or decreasing their dose. And then I see a prompt feedback from Joyous, and that's addressed. And every circumstance is different, but naturally, you see something like this, and I'm like, well, what if it takes longer than 3 months, or is this going to be ripped out from under me? And I am more and more faithful every day that I'm in pretty darn good hands, and that things will go as needed, as expected, especially with Miss Jenny Parker. She's a saint. So yes, all of the fears that people have, I get it, because I was there. And you see something good and you want to grab it, because because it's hope and passion. So yeah, I hope that the team definitely doesn't get too agitated with people who come off as needy, because they might just be very overly passionate about what's going on there on your end.